This conference will now be recorded.
Hello friends, welcome to the SAP deep dive session on SAP warehouse management. Moving on to the agenda of this session, we'll be starting on with the introduction to SAP warehouse management. That means here we'll be checking on what is warehouse management system, then solution landscape of SAP WM. In this, we'll be basically touching on what is the solution architecture of SAP R3 and how the SAP WM is fitting onto SAP R3 system. Moving on, we'll be looking onto the advantages of SAP warehouse management system. Then we'll be looking onto the WM org structure in SAP. Then we'll be looking on to the WM structure, that is the hierarchical view of the warehouse management system. At the last, we'll be seeing onto the what are the various customizing as well as what are the various master data associated with the SAP warehouse management system. Moving on to the SAP warehouse management system. What do you mean by SAP warehouse management system? SAP warehouse management system provides flexible automated support in processing all goods movement and in managing stocks in your warehouse complex. So basically, our SAP warehouse management system deals with good receipt and the good issue process of various degree of complexity. So here, when we deals with the good receipt process, that means the inbound process, the SAP warehouse management system coordinates the incoming of goods, their storage, their tracking of goods, and final distribution of goods to their proper destination. When we deals with the goods issue process, that is the outbound process, the SAP warehouse management will understand from where the goods has to be picked from the warehouse as per the various strategies and configuration that we maintain in the SAP warehouse management system. So SAP warehouse management system give much importance to the good receive process and the goods issue process, as well as goods receipt and goods issue process. Warehouse management system also deals with the movement of the goods within the warehouse system. As we can see in the picture, our warehouse management system, that is nothing but the logistic execution system, is not a standalone system. It is integrated mainly with various other modules. I'll be touching on that session on the later part of our presentation. In this picture, our logistic execution is linked to the procurement division as well as our distribution division. In your company or in your business process, the procurement itself can happen in two ways, that is internal as well as external procurement. That means if you tell about the internal procurement means your warehouse system is linked to your production planning module and the department. That means that from your warehouse you will be supplying the raw material to your production planning department so that they can create a end product, that means the finished or semi finished products. So for that, For production of the end product or semi-finished product, your procurement team, that is the internal procurement team, will be taking or obtaining the raw materials from your warehouse. That is the way in which your procurement, that means your internal procurement, is linked to your warehouse execution system. External procurement means you will be having a external vendor. From this external vendor, you will be obtaining a finished product or semi-finished product. For getting the product from the external vendor, you will be creating the purchase order in the system, and then you will be having the acknowledgement from the vendor. The main importance of acknowledgement is that purchase order is the legal document between the receiving plant as well as the supplying plant. So as per the purchase order, there will be delivery date, the material number, the how many materials you need, everything. So all these items, your vendor will be confirming and acknowledging that he will be able to deliver it. So as per the purchase order details, the materials will be taken care by the your vendor. Then as per the delivery date specified onto your purchase order, your vendor will be supplying that particular material. Once you in the side, you will be creating the purchase order. Then you will be having the acknowledgement, that is nothing but the inbound deliveries or the shipping notification from the vendor. Then you will be proceeding with the good receipt process. In the good receipt process, you will be receiving the goods onto your side. That is, you will be executing in the system as MIGO transaction, MIGO transaction. And if you are receiving the goods with respect to purchase order, the movement type will be 101. I'll be showing everything in the system as well. So over here, you will be good receiving onto your good receipt area. Once you receive your goods onto your good receipt area, this goods has to be put on to your warehouse management system in order for the proper storage of the goods. So here, when we tell about the good receipt process, so this good receipt process itself, I explained as there can be two types, internal as well as external. Internal means your company, that means your internal manufacturing company will be procuring the goods from your warehouse system, or there could be external procurement. That means you will be procuring the material from the outside vendor, and you, after doing the good receipt, you will be putting the material onto your warehouse management system. Next, I'll explain onto the how the warehouse management system is linked to the goods issue process. As I explained in the procurement side, your warehouse management can be linked to your internal distribution process or external distribution process. Internal distribution process is your company or your business will be having a internal manufacturing company, and you will be distributing the raw materials from the warehouse of your plant to your manufacturing center, that means internal manufacturing center. So the warehouse module will be linked to the production planning department. So warehouse management will be providing the materials onto your production planning department, and they'll be using this material. Next, about the external distribution. External distribution will be a case where in which you will be the vendor to other plant. That means the other plant will be creating the purchase order. So you will be having a sales order scenario in which there will be a sales order where you will be committed to provide particular material on particular delivery date. So you will be taking those items from your warehouse and you will be providing this material onto your external customer. So in the goods issue cycle as well, your warehouse is also linked. So as I explained earlier, warehouse management system is not a standalone system. In this picture itself, we can understand that warehouse management system is linked to your system for the procurement as well as the SD system for the distribution. It is also linked with your production planning system so that if even in case of your internal manufacturing of the materials, the items will be picked from your SAP WM system. This WM module is also linked with various other modules like SAP quality management, that is SAP QM. For example, when you are having the procurement of materials, once you have the good receipt of material, these materials may not directly come onto your warehouse. Instead, it will be lying on your good receipt area. Then there will be quality check. So the quality department will come into the picture and they will proceed with the quality check of the material and they will certify that quality is there for the good receipt item. If there is no quality met as per the standard, they can provide the justification that they don't need the material and the material can be put out from the warehouse. So this happens once you have the material produced from your plant onwards. Directly from the production department, you can put the material onto your warehouse, or from the production planning, it will come to the quality management module in order to check the quality of the material. Once the quality of the material is finalized, it will be put on to your warehouse management system. So your warehouse management in turn is linked to various other modules and it is not a standalone. It is primarily focused and dependent on SAP module, SAP SD module, SAP PP module, and SAP QM module. Moving on, what is SAP Warehouse Management System? So SAP Warehouse Management is introduced in the SAP R2 system as well. As of SAP R3, warehouse management, shipping and transportation both together to form logistic execution system. The warehouse management application is fully integrated into the SAP R3 system. The transactions that are initiated in other SAP components results in corresponding task in WM, which activate the actual physical transfer within the warehouse. So what it means is SAP WM is linked with various other modules. So when we proceed further, you will understand the SAP warehouse management is similar to the SAP IM level as well. So for example, if a good receipt is posted in inventory management system, the stock level is increased in WM system. Because of the good receipt posting, an action is started in warehouse system, that notifies the user that material must be stored in warehouse. This comes into picture when your plant and storage location is WM managed. If your plant and storage location is not WM managed, you will be keeping your material in the IM level location. But if your plant and storage location is linked to the WM, then your plant and storage location, whenever you are doing a good receipt to a plant and storage location, then the materials will be coming onto your warehouse. Moving on to the solution landscape of SAP WM system. This picture mainly explains the solution architecture of SAP R3 system. Here R means real time. That means there is three level architecture in SAP. First come is your presentation layer, then your application layer, then your database layer. Presentation layer is nothing but your SAP GUI. That means what you actually see in front of your system. That means SAP screens and all. That is the presentation, how the SAP is presenting its application in front of you. Then it is having the application layer. That application layer is the layer that is behind the scenes and where actual coding and everything happens and the actual way in which SAP does the process. Then SAP is having database layer. Database layer is nothing but the SAP actual database where the data are actually stored. So these three layers are mutually interdependent. That means in the presentation layer, you will be checking for each creation of this purchase order, a good receipt on this purchase order. Like this, all the postings will be doing in the presentation layer. Once you are doing anything in the presentation layer will pull the backend configurations and the program that is written in the application layer. In the application layer, the data will be pulled from your database layer. So all these layers are mutually interdependent. So moving on to the core SAP landscape in which WM is placed. SAP Warehouse Management System is available under Procurement and Logistics Execution vertical. So under the Procurement and Logistics vertical, I have highlighted the Inventory and Warehouse Management. Procurement and Logistic Execution vertical starts with procurement of material. That means how your procurement of the material is taken care in SAP system. So it could be the external procurement or internal procurement as well. Internal from the your internal procurement from the internal production plan, external from the external vendor. Then moves on to the supplier collaboration. Supplier collaboration mainly specify how your supplier is linked onto your SAP WM system. That means how the supplier is linked onto your supply chain management system in the SAP landscape. Moving on, SAP take care about the inventory aspect of your material, that is the inventory and warehouse management. In inventory and warehouse management, you will be keeping on all your items that you are good received from your production order or the internal procurement. You can keep the material directly in the inventory side as well as from the warehouse management. So that means that you can directly have your storage location at the IM level as well as at the WM management level. Then the SAP deals with the inbound and outbound logistics. That means the transportation aspect of the warehouse management, and the SAP is taking care about that inbound and outbound logistics and the transportation management. This is how the landscape of SAP looks like.
This conference will now be recorded.
Moving on to why warehouse management. While inventory management as a part of material management can only provide the information on the total quantity of material in stock, warehouse management enables a precise specification of the exact location of a particular quantity of material and informs you whether this quantity is currently in a storage bin or on the move. So, main advantage of warehouse management system is that in warehouse management system we can actually track and trace the material in a particular storage bin. But in the storage location level, that means in the IM location, we will be understanding altogether the material is available, but we won't be having any information where actually we are keeping the material or from where we want to pick the material. So it is from the higher level information that we'll be having some material in the storage location. But if we want to actually understand where we have kept the material, then it is better to go with the SAP warehouse management system so that you can precisely understand the location of a particular material within the storage location. Moving on to the advantages of SAP warehouse management system. SAP warehouse management system seamlessly integration with the SAP other modules like PP, QM, SD, MM, etc. So it means that SAP WM can be integrated with various other modules like SAP material management, SAP sales and distribution, SAP quality management system, and SAP production planning system. Reduced human errors. In warehouse management, we basically use the RF mobile devices for most of the transaction. So there won't be any human errors, or human errors are reduced to the larger extent. I'll explain you in much better way. How it happens is that, for example, when we want to do any movement in WM, the system itself will understand from where the material has to pick. That means the storage from location. This location, the system will understand by itself due to the various configuration. And the destination storage bin. The destination storage bin is the final location to which the material has to place. So this all information and the data will be automatically configured by the SAP warehouse management system, and it will be provided for the SAP warehouse operator. So this all configurations are done in the backend in the SAP warehouse management module. So the main advantage of SAP warehouse management system is that there won't be any much human intervention, and once the all the configuration and strategies are placed, it the SAP warehouse management system by itself will take care about the various configurations, and it will reduce the human errors and human interventions. Next is inventory visibility. SAP Warehouse Management System help in the real-time inventory visibility and end-to-end track and trace of material. So, if we are maintaining your storage location at the IM side, we'll be having the information that, for example, if you need a 10 quantity of material and you have done the good receipt and you are placing your 10 quantity of material in your storage location, then you will be having the information that the 10 quantity of material is present in the storage location, but you won't be knowing where actually the material is placed in the storage location. So in order to understand the track and trace of all the materials within the storage location, we can have the SAP WM. SAP WM will be doing the track and trace for the entire inbound activities as well as the outbound activities as well as the internal warehouse movement activities. Then it will main advantage of SAP WM is to reduce inventory loss. That means that there won't be any inventory loss in the SAP WM. So that means all the inventories are counted in the SAP warehouse management system, and for all the movement of material in the SAP warehouse management, we need to have the track and the trace. So there won't be much loss of inventories, and SAP management will help in the proper reporting of the material at any point of time. So at any point of time, the warehouse controller or supervisor can understand how much quantity of material are present in a particular location or particular bin in the SAP WM. Improved operational efficiency. Improved operational efficiency means SAP WM itself will provide the optimized route or optimized location where the material has to be put away or the material has to be picked. The word put away means the refers to the term in the warehouse, that means that the quantity that is placed onto your storage bin. So warehouse management system, due to the background configuration and strategies that we are keeping onto the SAP warehouse management system, the SAP warehouse module itself will propose the lowest route or the optimized route for the transportation purpose. The warehouse operator no need to travel with the material for the entire put away in the warehouse management system, or for the picking also he don't need to check for the entire warehouse system. Instead, he can get all this data directly from the SAP WM configuration, and he can directly do the put away of material onto the destination bin or pick the material from the source bin in a much effective and highly operational way. Next is improved transaction between receiving and put away. So as I already explained, SAP WM is not a standalone module. It is having the link between MM and SD module. So improved transaction in the sense whenever we are having any good receipt happening onto the SAP MM side, it will be having the information that okay, this much of material are coming onto your warehouse management system, and system can arrange the warehouse in such a way that it can have the improved transaction between the put away process, so that it can allocate what is the optimized bin and the optimized route for keeping the particular material in the storage location. business transparency and informed decision making. The main advantage of SAP itself is its reporting purpose so that we can take decision at any point of time. In SAP WM also, the movement of material is highly transparent. That means we can track and trace n quantity of material within the warehouse, and none of the quantities will be moved without having any proper track and trace. So since we are having proper transparency of the movement of material within the warehouse, it is highly dependable that SAP WM can be used for the highly efficient business transparency. Since we are having the highly business transparency, it is much important that we can have the much good decision making from the business transparency process. Now moving on to the WM org structure in SAP system. Case 1, warehouse structure without warehouse management system. That means if you are not using the warehouse management system, the storage location is the lowest level of inventory management in the system. If you are using the inventory management without warehouse management system, you can assign one or several physical storage location to each plant. In this picture, we can see there are two plants, 0001 and 0002. Since there is no warehouse management level, the lowest level of inventory management is at the storage location. The 0001 plan is having two storage location, 0001 and 0002. The plant 0002 is having three storage location, 0001, 0002 and 0003. If there is no warehouse management, for example, I'll be telling the example that the plant 2 is acquiring or getting some material from the plant 1, that is 0001. So plant 2 will be raising the purchase order for getting 100 drugs of 100 drugs. This purchase order will come on to the plant 0001. After seeing the delivery date and everything, the plant 0001 will try to get the material from the 0001 or 0002 storage location. So the main disadvantage over here is that since it is having the lowest level of inventory management in the storage location, the plant will not be understanding from where actually the material has to picked for the sales order to 0002 plant. Instead, it will be picking the material from the 0001 storage location. So random material will be picked from the 0001 storage location. So the quantity will be reducing from the 0001 plant and the respective storage location, but they will not have much idea from where actually the location from where the material is being picked. The similar condition will happen onto the good receiving of 0002 plant. In the 0002 plant, there will be three storage location, 0001, 0002 and 0003. So what happened is that once there is a good receipt happens onto the 0002 plant, the material will be moved on to 0001 storage location or 0002 storage location or 0003 storage location. That means the 10 drugs will be moved on to the any of the storage location. But where actually we are keeping the material in triple O2 plant, that the system will not have any trace. So in this case, there won't be having multiple track and trace within the storage location, so that the actual location where the material from where the material is picked for the plant 001 and actual location to which the material is put away in the 002 plant is not available. So we'll be having the warehouse controller in both the plant will be facing much issues while doing the picking and put away process. Moving on to the case 2. Here, the warehouse structure is with warehouse management system. The main concept of warehouse management system is that your plant and the storage location has to be linked with a warehouse number. In the warehouse number itself, we will be dividing the warehouse into various storage type for the proper track and trace of the material. Here, 001 plant and the storage location 0088 is linked to the warehouse number 001. So, any good receipt or picking happens in the storage location 0008 from the plant 0001 is linked to the warehouse number 001. So what happened is that we can have the proper track and trace of material in the warehouse level. So as I explained in the previous scenario, 002 plant is requesting 10 drugs from the 001 plant. So 000 plant, 0001 plant will be getting the information that they need to supply 10 drugs to the 002 plant on a particular date. So it will be doing the picking of the material from the storage location 0088. Since the plant and the storage location, that is 001 and 0088, is linked to the warehouse number 001, the system understand from where the material has to pick, so that it can take the material from the particular storage type and can have the material distribution accurately. Once we are having the good receipt onto the 002 plant, which is linked to the storage location 0088. This plant and storage location is again linked to the warehouse number 002. So whenever we are doing the good receipt onto the 002 plant, the goods will be receiving onto the IM storage location. Once the goods are received onto your IM storage location, you can specify where actually the material need to placed on to your warehouse. As we see on this picture, the warehouse number 002 will be having multiple storage type like 001, 002, 003. So what happened is that whenever we are doing the good receipt onto 0088, the material will be properly allocated to a particular storage type as well as to the particular storage bin. For example, as per the strategies and configuration that we maintain in the system in the behind, this material, that means 10 drugs of the material, will be placed onto the 002 storage type and a particular bin, so that the warehouse operator and the controller will be having the proper identification and the location details for the proper track and trace in the entire warehouse management system. Moving on to the case 3, warehouse structure with warehouse management system. This is much more complex way in which there is a plant 0001 and 0002. 0001 is having one storage location 0088, and 0002 is having two storage location 0077 and 0001. The main fundamental concept of warehouse management system is that the plant and storage location has to linked with a particular warehouse number. Here, the plant 0001 and 0088 is linked to the storage location 001. That is right. The other plant is also sharing the same warehouse number, that is 001. 0002 is having two storage location 0077 and 0001, but 0077 is linked to the warehouse number, and the other storage location 0001 is a IM managed storage location. So whenever we want to move the material from one plant to another, if it is in the WM way, we can have the proper track and trace of the material. Moving on, these are the various frequently asked questions whenever you are creating a new warehouse structure. We'll be seeing everything in the system perspective as well. First is that, can we have two warehouse management in a given plant? Yes, you can have two warehouse management in a given plant. The main fundamental concept is your plant and the storage location must be associated with a warehouse number. If your plant is 1000 and the storage location is 1000, that plant and the storage location should be linked with a particular warehouse. But if your plant is having multiple storage location, for example, your plant is 1000 and your storage location is 1000 and 1001, your plant 1000 is linked to your storage location 1000, can be linked to your warehouse 001. In the same way, the plant 1000 and the storage location 1001 can be linked to the another warehouse 002. Can we have a WM cutting crossing two plants? Yes, you can have it. As a rule, it is a good idea to manage only the stocks of one storage location and the same plant within a warehouse number. That is a good way in which we can manage the stock. You can manage several storage location of one and the same plant within a warehouse number. That means that if your plant 1000 is having multiple storage location, 1000 storage location, 1001 storage location, 1002 storage location, 1003 storage location, like that m number of storage location. This storage location internally can be associated with only one warehouse. That is also possible, because the fundamental concept is that a plant and a storage location is linked, should be linked to a one particular warehouse. So the n number of storage location will not have any problem if you are connecting n storage location of a plant with a particular warehouse. But make sure that you have only one direct connection. That means a plant as well as a storage location is linked to a particular warehouse. Next is, does warehouse have accounting implication? No. In warehouse, we deal only with the stock and how the stocks are placed onto your warehouse, or the how the stocks are picked from the warehouse, or how the movements of stock happens within the warehouse. So it is basically the purely the stock handling is taken care in the warehouse, not the accounting implications. Does all the storage types necessarily be located in one building? No. It can be scattered in the plant premises, but still can be logically assigned to the same warehouse number. The fundamental concept still is one particular warehouse should be linked with a plant and a storage location. That means a plant and a storage location cannot be linked with multiple warehouse. Only one warehouse is possible to link between the plant and a storage location. Moving on. Moving on to the organization level of SAP WM. In the SAP MM session itself, you will be seeing the organization level of SAP. It starts with the company code. That means in the top we have the company code. Company code is defined as an independent legal entity. It has its own profit and loss statement. So that means company code is the entire entity which take care about your interactions. Then the company code is mapped into the plant. Plant is an organization unit within the company code where the procurement activities happens. So if you want to have the procurement activities, you will be calling as the plant. We'll be seeing how the various configurations and the organization levels of WM is taking care in the plant in the SAP system hands-on as well. Next is storage location. Storage location is a place where the stocks are kept. If you manage your material in the storage location level, then you can tell that it is IM managed storage location. That means that basically you can have your warehouse stock in SAP inventory management or at SAP warehouse management layer. The basic difference between the SAP inventory management and warehouse management is that in the inventory management, you can manage the quantity and the values of stock in several storage locations. But in warehouse management, you will map your entire warehouse complex into a detailed storage bin. So here you will understand the overview of entire quantity of material in the warehouse and also understand where exactly your current material is placed in your warehouse. So as I explained earlier, with the use of this warehouse management, you can optimize the use of your storage bins and the warehouse movement, and thereby reducing lot of wastage of space as well as unwanted movement of material in the storage location. So it is always good and recommended to have a warehouse level storage location. Next, moving on to the next organization level is warehouse number. The entire physical warehouse complex in the warehouse management is represented by the warehouse number. That means your warehouse complex is represented as the warehouse number. We'll see in the SAP system how we are configuring all these things. The storage types. The physical or logical subdivision of warehouse complex that is characterized by its warehouse technique and space is known as storage type. For example, you can have multiple storage type within the storage number. That means it can be high rack or it can be bulk storage, open storage, etc. You can define your own storage type as per your business scenario. That means your entire warehouse structure is dividing onto the storage type. Then we'll be dividing the storage type into various storage sections. What do you mean by storage section? Storage section is basically defined as collection of bins that have the similar characteristics. That means the storage section can be of fast moving area. That means if you are placing the quantities that are moving very fast, that can be a particular storage section, and you will be placing those items on your front end of your warehouse. The items which are moving in a very low pace, you will be placing it in the back end. Or if you are placing if your item is more is having heavy weight, you will be placing in the down of the storage type. If the item is lightweight, you can place the material in the top level as well. Then moving on to the storage bin. Storage bin is defined as the exact location where the materials will be stored. It represented by the coordinates. That means that there will be coordinates x, y, z coordinate to represent each location of the storage bin, so that it will be easier for the third person to understand where actually the material is. Then the count. Count refers to the actual quantity of material present in the bin. That means the in SAP Warehouse Manager, the all the material present in the bins are represented by the counts and not by using the material number. So system will be creating a count whenever we are keeping the material onto the storage bin. We'll see all the organization level in much detail way. Moving on, warehouse structure. So here in the previous slide I started with where I explained about company code, plant, storage location, etc. But in WM, it is actually from the warehouse number, storage type, storage session, picking area, storage bin, and count. Now moving on to the actual location. First is warehouse number. So warehouse number is nothing but the complete physical warehouse structure. So the physical warehouse structure is represented by the warehouse number. As in the picture, you can see that the entire physical structure is represented by the warehouse number, that is 001. Using the warehouse number, you can manage several individual warehouse building that together form a complete warehouse complex. The warehouse number encompasses the organizational and physical aspects of a warehousing complex as a single concept. The warehouse number is linked to a storage location in IM for the IM-WM integration. So a typical warehouse can be defined like this. The entire storage location is represented by a three-digit number, that is 001. That is the standard warehouse the SAP is offering. In the standard warehouse, there will be two docks. That means the inbound dock as well as the outbound dock. So I'll be explaining now the actual business scenario happen onto the warehouse number. Once the material comes onto the inbound dock, that means the inbound scenario I'll be explaining. There will be yard, and as well as yard will be connected onto the inbound dock. Once the material is available onto the inbound process, it will be good receipt onto your receiving area. This receiving area will link the IM as well as WM in SAP Warehouse Management System. These are known as the interim storage types. We'll come to the interim areas in the next slides. Okay, then in the high level, the good receipt happen onto the good receiving area. Then after the good receive onto the good receiving area, it will move on to the repacking area. It is not mandatory to have the repacking all the times, but it is good to have the repacking. It depends upon the business scenario whether you want to have the repacking or you don't need to have the repacking of the material. Once this repacking or the packaging happens, then it will be moved on to the quality department for checking the quality of the good received items. If the quality is not matched, the material will be sent out to the vendor. If the goods are as per the standard, it will be coming and moving onto the warehouse location. So the entire storage number is divided into various storage type. Here we can see with the various storage type as high rack storage type, bulk, small parts, etc. So the material will be placed in the high rack, bulk storage, etc. We'll be having our own configurations and strategies that is placed in the SAP management system, so that material is once the material is put away onto the storage, right, system will by default understand where the material has to place, and the material will be available in a particular storage location. That means the actual bin where the material will be placed. So if I tell that 10 drugs need to put on to the high rack, system will understand in the high rack where is the storage bin where the put away need to take place, and it will do the put away, and warehouse operator will confirm this operation. Now explaining about the outbound scenario. Outbound scenario is just the reverse of the inbound scenario. There will be a sales order. With respect to sales order, there will be a outbound delivery will be created. For each outbound delivery, there will be picking of the material from the bin. So we'll be having the same strategy for picking of the material from the warehouse bin, and system will propose from which bin the material has to picked for a particular process. So in the outbound scenario, material will be picked from the storage type. That means material will be picked from the bin of the storage type, that is high rack. And it will be, once the picking is done, it should be moved on for the packing purpose. Once the packing is done, in some of the business scenario, there can be some value added services. What do you mean by value added services? Value added services can be like repacking of the material, etc. So this repacking of the material is nothing but it is as per the business scenarios and the standard of your company to have the extra packing as needed for the vendor final customers. Then it will be moving on to the shipping area. Shipping area is the area from where the outbound happens in the IM location. So shipping area is the location where it connect the IM and WM. So in the inbound we had the receiving area, but in the outbound, we have the shipping area for the taking away this material onto the outside. Once the material comes onto the shipping area, it will move on to the outbound docks and it will be taken with the transportation to taken out. Storage type. The space and equipment is needed for warehousing activity that are contained in the storage type. WM groups these buildings or areas under a warehouse number. You can define the following frequently used physical storage types in warehouse management. For example, in the picture, you can see the high rack storage type, bulk storage type, open storage type, picking area, shelf storage type. These are the standard storage type that are defined by the SAP system. In the meantime, you can have your own storage type for your business scenario. So storage type is nothing but the physical and the logistics division of our warehouse number for the warehouse activities. Moving on to the interim storage types. As I explained you earlier, IM and WM is same. That means that whenever we are doing any posting in IM, we need to have the similar posting in WM because the storage location, the material in the storage location is always constant. So you need to link the IM with the WM. How we are linking is we are linking the IM with the WM with the interim storage type. So over here, you can define storage type in WM that are shared by both inventory management and WM management application components so that there will be linking with the plant storage location and the warehouse. There are basically four interim storage area or the types. For example, good receipt area. So whenever you are doing the good receipt process, that is the MIGO process in IM, you will be specifying that you are receiving the material onto your good receipt area. Since your plant and storage location is linked to the warehouse management system, your good receipt area will be acting as a bridge so that it will be indicating a posting will be coming onto the WM so that material in the warehouse management level is also synchronized with the IM level. Goods issue area. Goods issue area works as the reverse way of goods receipt area. So in goods issue area, what basically happens is we'll be picking the material from the bin and we'll be doing the packing and it will come onto the goods issue area for issuing the material. So over here we pick the material from the bin. So we are doing some movements in the WM. This WM movements has to linked with the IM movement as well. So in order to have that linking between the IM and WM for the goods issue process, we are having the goods issue area. Then posting chain zone. For the changing of the storage material types, we need to have the interim storage type. That means we are changing the material from the unrestricted to the quality or quality to the block. So in the IM level also we are having a moments for the transfer posting purpose. So whenever we are doing any transfer posting in IM, we need to have the similar transfer posting in WMC. So in order to integrate the IM transfer posting with the WM, we have the posting chain zone. So the material when it is moved from the unrestricted to the quality, it will come onto the posting change storage type. Then from there it will move on to your Next, storage type. That means if it is unrestricted to block, it will first move from the unrestricted to the interim posting change zone storage type, then from the interim posting change zone to the quality storage type. Interim area, storage area for difference. This basically means that when you actually go and check in your warehouse, you saw there are 100 drugs present. But in your warehouse system, when you check, there in the quantity will be like 95 items are there. So what happens to the 5 items in the warehouse system? So in order to track and trace the difference of the quantity, that is the actual quantity difference with the warehouse quantity difference, we are using the another interim storage type as interim storage area for difference. So interim storage area are used in the IM and WM interface so that your quantity in the IM will be same as the WM, as well as whatever posting that you are doing in WM should be same as to the posting in IM. All these storage types makes up the warehousing complex and can be located in one or several buildings. They are all managed using a single warehouse number. Moving on, the storage section. In warehouse management, a storage section is defined as an organization subdivision of storage type that groups together storage bin with similar features or the purpose of putting stocks away. So this means that the storage type internally is divided into various storage sections. So in SAP Warehouse Management, it is mandatory to have at least one storage section for each storage type. For example of this storage type can be fast moving items, slow moving items, etc. For example, in your warehouse, you will be keeping the fast moving items in your front of your warehouse, that is the front storage type. The slow moving items will be kept in the behind the storage type. The heavy items will be placed in the bottom of your warehouse structure, and the light weight will be placed in the top of the storage type. So these are the various storage sessions. That means we are grouping together the bins of the similar features for the purpose of putting away the stocks or picking the stocks. Moving on, picking area. A picking area is a session within the storage type in which all picking activities are carried out in the same way. To pick the orders, more than one picking area might be required. So in the SAP system, there are different kind of picking area that we specify. These are the standard picking area. That means the pallet picking can be there, the case picking will be there, or the broken case picking will be there. So for each picking system, the different storage and handling equipments are needed. So this means that in the warehouse, we won't be keeping the material directly onto the bin. There will be a handling unit or the storage unit. Storage unit is nothing but your containers to keep the material. So there could be a storage unit to keep the material. So there can be the pallet storage unit, the case storage unit, broken case picking, or the carton storage unit. Like that, n number of storage unit will be there, and the material, your final material will be placed onto the storage unit, and the storage unit, that is nothing but your containers, will be placed onto your bin. Bins. Bins, a storage type generally contain several storage spaces or slots. These are called as storage bins in warehouse management system. The storage bin is the smallest available unit of space in a warehouse. The storage bin therefore describes the position in the warehouse where the goods are or can be stored. Since the address of storage bin is frequently derived from a coordinate system, a storage bin is often referred to as a coordinate. The coordinate 01, 02, 03, for example, can refer to a storage bin in row 1, stack 2, and level 3. So the storage bin is nothing but the actual area where the material is being placed in a warehouse. So storage bin is the smallest available unit of space in a warehouse so that we can keep the material in a particular storage type. As I told earlier, this warehouse, in the warehouse, whatever we are keeping, we'll be keeping it in a storage bin, and it will be very much easy to understand where actually a particular bin with respect to the coordinate of the storage bin. The coordinate of the storage bin can be 01, 02, 03. For example, it can be row 1, stack 2, and level 3. So the warehouse operator who is doing the picking operation as well as the put away operation need not be the same person, but the material will be placed in a storage bin, and the these details will be updated onto the system. So the main advantage of having a storage bin is that the warehouse operator, irrespective of whoever is doing the process or taking the report of the stocks, he can directly understand where actually the material present in the storage bin with the help of the various coordinates of the storage bin. Moving on to the count. Count is the stock of any material with the same features in one storage bin. That means that count refers to the actual quantity of material that we placed onto the bin. So system manages everything, that means the material with respect to the count. So whenever we are keeping any material in a particular bin, system generate a count. So in the same way, if you are removing the material from a bin, the count will be automatically deleted from the system. SAP manages different batches of material as different counts. That means the count of the material will be having its own characteristics, and we'll see everything in the next slide. So quantity of a count can be increased by an addition to existing stock, but the count number remains the same. Only the quantity of the stock or quantity of the count will be increased. The counts can be created or deleted solely through the goods movement. So whenever we are doing the good receipt onto the particular bin, the count will be generated. And if we are picking the material from the particular bin, the count will be deleted by default. Next, we'll be seeing what are the various characteristics of the count. The count serve to manage stocks at storage bin level. So as I explained, the material in the storage bin is kept at the count level. And when you store goods in an empty storage bin in the warehouse management, the system automatically creates a count in this bin. So whenever we are doing the good receipt onto a particular bin, if it is empty, system automatically create a count. And if you are taking the material from the particular bin, the system delete the particular count, and system automatically assigns a count number by the number range that we define for the counts. We'll see how all these things are done in the hands-on of SAP Warehouse Management System. The count is automatically deleted by the system when the material quantity is picked. In the count record, the system manages the data of the materials grouped in the count. This data include count identification, the plan number with which the materials will be put away or picking, the material number, that means the actual material that will be put on to the bin, batch number of the count, stock category, and the special stock indicator and the material number. So these are the count characteristics by which the material as well as the plant categorizes the count. So this is the typical warehouse structure. The warehouse complex is represented by the 3-digit number, that is the warehouse number. Then there will be a inbound dock in which the inbound activities happens. The material will be arriving onto the receiving area, that is the interim area which connect the IM and WM storage location. Then there will be repacking as per the business scenario. Then there will be quality inspection by the QA department. As per the strategies and configuration that is maintained for the material will be put on to the storage type. Here the storage type can be high rack, bulk, small parts, etc. So when we explain about the reverse process, that is the material will be picked from the storage type. So it can be from the high rack, bulk, or the small parts. The material will be picked and the material will be placed for the packing. After the picking, there will be packing of the activities. Then after the packing, there can be value added services. So it depends upon the business to do value added services. That means extra packing or packing with the particular items. This all things comes under the value added services. After this, it will be moved on to the shipping area for the outbound process. So shipping area is another the interim storage type which link between the IM and WM. Or here the material is picked from the WM. So this information should be reflected back to the IM level with the picking shipping area storage type. Then there will be outbound docks and the material will be sent out. So this represents the hierarchical of warehouse structure. At the top, there will be warehouse number. So if we start with the side, there will be the company code. The company code will be linked onto the plant where your manufacturing of the materials and the manufacturing activities happens. Then the plant will be linked onto the storage location and the plant and the storage location will be linked onto your warehouse number. Each warehouse number will be internally divided with various storage type. Here it is represented as storage type A, storage type B, and storage type C. The storage type itself will be divided into various sections for the various activities. Here the storage section is B2 and the picking area is B1. Then we have various bin where actually the material is being kept or picking. Each section can have multiple bins created and in each bin we'll be keeping the material and each material in the bin is represented by the Quant Characteristics. Moving on, to the organization structure, that is customizing and the master data. This picture basically shows the customizing and master data. Here, the customizing data are the data that we specify in the SPRO. We will see how the customizing is done for the warehouse management in the SAP hands-on, that is in the next session. So over here, I can explain you in the SPRO, that is a customizing of the SAP screen. We need to go to the SPRO, logistic execution, warehouse management. Under warehouse management, there will be master data. So in the master data, we create all these storage types, storage sections, picking area, storage bins, and everything. So master data in the warehouse is represented as the storage bin. So the storage bin in the SAP warehouse management system can be created in two ways. So that means automatically we can create the master data storage bin, or we can create manually also. So if we deals with the customizing part, we can specify how to create the storage type. So by default, SAP warehouse management, whenever we create the new warehouse, the standard warehouse that is there for the system is represented as 001. So whenever we are creating a new warehouse, we are actually copying the warehouse from the standard, that is from the 001. Okay, we'll be copying directly from the standard, that is 001. After copying from the 001 warehouse number, we can do our own configuration that I'll be showing on to you in the configuration screen. After we create the warehouse number, we attach or create various storage type for the warehouse number. Whenever whenever we create the warehouse number, the warehouse structure should be internally divided into various storage types. So there could be like a hierarchy, open storage, open storage type areas and everything. And along with this one, we need to create the interim storage type. And the transaction code for creating the interim storage type is LX20. So once the storage types are created, we create the picking area or the storage section. So when it is mandatory to have at least one storage session for each storage type. So we need to create a new storage session in the SPRO configuration. So in SPRO, logistic execution, warehouse management, master data, where we can specify the storage where we can specify the warehouse number and the storage type, so that we can create a storage section for the particular storage type. The result, we can create the picking area from where we need to pick the material. The picking area can be the pallet picking, case picking, the broken case picking, carton picking, everything. And the master data are the storage bin. As I explained earlier, the storage bins can be created two ways. One is automatic, one is manually also. So for creation of the manual storage bins, we use the transaction LS01N. In LS01N, I'll show everything in the system in the next hands-on session with SAP Warehouse Management System. But over here, I'll explain us storage. While creation of the storage bin, we need to specify what is the warehouse number, then what is the storage type, and what is the name that you want to specify for the storage bin. Then we need to specify the storage uh, type and the bin category and the storage section where the bin is getting created. For example, we can create a bin like bin underscore 001. So here we specify that it should be created in the warehouse 001, storage type 001, or it can be high rack storage type. Then in which storage section also we specify that in the fast moving storage section I want to create a bin 001. So the bin 001 will be created in the warehouse 001 high rack, and within the fast moving we'll be having a separate area where we can create we can do the activities. And if we want to create any storage bin automatically, there is another way. In the SAP SPRO, logistic execution warehouse management bin structure. So in the bin structure path, we need to specify the start value of the bin, end value of the bin, what is the increment level you need to specify, and what is the structure as well as the template in which you want to create a bin. This particular way, automatic way is created so that multiple bins can be created by the background job by the system. So here we need to directly specify the storage structure and the storage template, and we need to specify the start value, end value, and the increment by which the storage bin has to be created. So once we specify everything and we go to the environment, then create the bin, system will create multiple bin as per the start and end values as per the increment also. That is the I'll be specifying everything. That means how we are creating all the master data in the hands-on system as well. Thank you so much for attending this session.